Fight! Life! There's DJ in the background, but nobody actually cares. I don't remember everything I said, so.
Okay, I am rolling, and we are going.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Despite Life. I know what you're thinking. This isn't the shop. Where's the shop? Why aren't you in the shop? Because we are in my home, and we are with my lovely wife, Morgan. Say, there we go. Say, hey, hey!
Did you forget her name?
Oh, no, I thought she was going to introduce herself. It's not Leroy. That's my bad. When I point at Leroy, Leroy talks.
Terrible.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know. That's on me. So anyways.
Hold on. So you're Caleb.
I'm Caleb. She's Morgan.
So we're going to put a handle on for you as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Where can they find you at?
Uh,
The socials.
Facebook. Instagram.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Hey. Go like her stuff. She also helps me with Chain Monster. Shameless plug there. So
I do all the stuff
make sure
behind the scenes.
she does all the stuff behind the scenes for the podcast. She does all the stuff behind the scenes for me for Chain Monster. Speaking of which, for the podcast, why don't you go ahead, click the like button, click the subscribe button. I will find my words to use one day. Go ahead and share it with your friends. That would also help us out a great deal. So we're going to talk about love and Valentine's Day because, as we release this episode, it's Valentine's Day. What a coinky dink. So we're going to fire off some questions. I keep using the royal we. Leroy's with us in spirit. And I'm going to ask Morgan these questions.
Leroy's dead to me.
Oh!
Wow. Well, you know, that's why PJ stays behind the camera. And Leroy, well, he's just not here. So anyways,
She's not here.
let's go ahead and start off with the questioning.
Okay. Hit me.
And fellas and or ladies, doesn't really matter, pay attention. Maybe this can help you out. So we'll start off with question 1. What did you find to be romantic when you were younger? Because remember, if you actually watched our podcast, we've been married for 14 years, almost 15 years now. What did you find romantic when you were younger versus now?
Well, I would say that I still find these things romantic, but there are other things that I find romantic now that I never would have thought of as being romantic when I was younger, right? So, like, I always thought that it was really nice to get dressed up fancy and go out to, like, expensive dinner, and, like, that's romantic, right? Because that's always, like, the ideal, like, movie scenario, right? But
We got married and got poor. Yeah. Continue.
But now it's like there's things that are romantic that don't have to even involve money. Like sometimes if you just notice that I'm like overwhelmed by a lot of stuff going on and you clean the kitchen, I'm like, oh yeah, that was sweet.
Everybody heard that. Fellas, you should really pay attention. Clean the kitchen. You slobs.
Cook dinner, clean the kitchen, just in general.
So helping out around the house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you find
But
it.
I mean, but now, like, if we just do simple little dates too, I like
Right.
that time.
Like coffee
just
dates
little,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
It's like, oh, we just, we had time. We we drove over to get coffee, or we just went and saw a movie, or
Right.
you know what I mean. And
I
a
gotta
lot of
pull out
those,
my questionnaire.
and a lot of times that's like just little spontaneous things that happen, and they're still romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Little gestures,
So I would say that varies amongst person to person, right?
Right. So like whatever that person.
Because some people
likes.
don't necessarily care if the house is like, if you clean the house for me, I appreciate that. Well, and for me, you clean the house all the time. I really don't have
Yeah,
that
but that's
much.
for me.
Right, but because
Right.
I really could care less
Right.
as far as that's concerned. When the house needs to be clean, I'll clean. But otherwise, I mean, I'm definitely not like, oh, that's so romantic.
Right. What do you think is romantic?
What do I think is romantic is a wonderful question. And this is a family show. So next question. What is an ideal date? Currently,
Okay,
not before
so-
and now.
So, like celebrating a big holiday or an anniversary or something, or just like a regular date?
Well, two-parted.
Two-parted?
Two-parted.
Okay. So just a regular date is like what I was explaining before. Just like simple. We went and got breakfast. We went and saw a movie. We went, like, I like those times when we don't really necessarily have anything planned out, per se, but we just make time to go and grab, and do something.
Right.
A
little
together.
alone time.
Yeah.
Because we go out with our son all the time, too.
Right.
But also, we
Right.
try to catch a movie, whatever the newest movie is,
Right.
or grab a bite.
Yeah.
We don't do coffee dates as much as
No, we
used
do
to.
breakfast dates.
Yeah. We met
More-
at a coffee shop,
did.
ironically enough.
Yeah.
We don't go to the coffee shops anymore.
Not that much.
They want too much
Every
money.
now and then, like if we were downtown or something, we'll sneak into one of them. But we're not big Starbucks fans.
No, well, our coffee dates now revolve drinking whatever that coffee is from Aldi.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Aldi. You'll be hooking it up since whenever y'all opened. So, all right. Well, how about holidays, like special
so
times?
special occasions, I think a little bit more planning is involved in that, and I think an ideal date for that kind of thing is maybe like going to get a couples massage and maybe grabbing dinner or something of that nature, or like my favorite, not your favorite, is when he takes me shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Like to the outlets, and we spend all day, or whatever store I want to go to, and we spend
So
an ample amount of time browsing.
I don't mind shopping. I actually really enjoy shopping. What I don't like doing is walking down every aisle of every store
Why-
we ever go in.
Why are you there if you're not looking at every aisle of the store?
I am
Why?
there for a specific reason. That's why I'm there.
No.
Why are you there if you don't have a reason?
Because you might find something good.
No, listen, when you're walking to what you're going to get, you scan as you're power walking to that spot. I know it doesn't look like it, but I do power walk.
There's
But only
a-
when I'm buying stuff.
There's a method, and you zigzag through all the aisles.
I've been shopping with you. You don't have a method. Well, that's
Look
not
at
true.
everything.
Look at everything. That's your method.
Because you might miss something. You never know. There could be hidden treasures.
Yeah, what's when's a deal not a deal? When you don't need it. Except for disc golf stuff. If you go to the Chain Monster Disc Golf store and pull up our Etsy page, you'll definitely find everything you need there. Or Leroy's Bike Works. He sells stuff too. Most of it's good. Actually, all of it's good. All right.
So, but what about you? What do you think is an ideal date?
So for me, I'm an outdoorsy person. So it's activities. I like doing things. Doesn't matter. I mean, it could be, this isn't an activity, but like it could be a board game, cards, obviously disc golf. I really love playing disc golf. I like going places. We've gone to St. Augustine
Oh, yeah, that was
quite a
great.
few times,
Yeah.
and just walking around the museums, the fort, all that kind of stuff. Breweries are always a lot of fun. Doing tastings and stuff like that. That's a little bit more ideal for me. My ideal dates like that, though, cost more money.
Yeah.
Because that's usually a stay package.
Well, and that's like we have a specific purpose, or like
Right.
like you're going to St. Augustine or Jacksonville for a disc golf tournament, so then we just tag
Right.
on the
Yeah.
extended weekend, or like we're
Right,
going up
exactly.
there for a wedding. And
Yeah,
then we're
Nick
staying a
Masters'
couple-
wedding. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to go up there in February.
This weekend, actually, because this is Valentine's Day, so it's the weekend after.
Yeah. Okay. So this
So-
month,
Yeah.
but a week away.
No, this is Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So this weekend.
This weekend. Oh my God, where's the time go? Did we book our place?
Yeah.
That's another thing. You should always make sure you book your places. That goes a long way. It's a little bit of pre-planning. That's just for everybody. If you don't pre-plan, where are you at in life? Not in a planned spot, that's for sure. Anyways, anywho's.
Yeah, traveling. You like to travel. You
Traveling,
like to go see new stuff.
Yeah.
You like to go out and be. I'm not really outdoorsy. What was the thing you said about me? I'm outside.
You're outsidesy, where you like to go outside, but not where there's dirt.
Yeah.
So.
On a patio. On a rooftop. Anywhere there's not dirt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give younger couples either starting out or that have maybe been together for a year or two, married, non-married? What advice would you give them just in general for planning altogether? For their, let me rephrase that. For their relationship, what advice would you give? We're given relationship life advice.
Okay, all right.
Take this with a grain of salt, or swallow the whole thing. I don't care.
So one of the things that Caleb and I say to each other is, "I like you," and we say that because it's a given that we love each other.
Yeah, we say "I love you" too. It's not just "I like you."
We say "I love you," all to each other too, and we take that as that's an always thing. Like, I'm gonna love you no matter what, because that's what I promised to do, and I'm gonna choose that every day. But we also say to each other, "I like you," because sometimes, and you'll find this out the longer you're married, you don't like each other at the moment. Things come up and you're like, this is frustrating to me, and I don't really like the way you're acting. I don't, I don't feel like you are treating me like you like me right now. And so we make it a habit to try to like each other and act that way towards each other. And so as an act of that, we say, I like you.
Yeah, a lot more, especially in the tender moments or whatever, or just a quick text message or something like that. That's our little thing back and forth. There's always, it's easy to love and fall in and out of love. Liking somebody takes actual work. And so, if you're trying to commit to a relationship, love's easy. Trying to maintain that relationship, you should probably try to make sure you like each other down the road. Because eventually we're going to get older. We're getting old now, but we're not as old as some of our viewers. And PJ. But we are getting older, and so eventually, attraction and all of that kind of stuff, that's going to go away. Like, we're not going to be the pin-up models that we are.
But we're going to be a
currently
cute old couple.
Super cute old couple, the cutest. My go-to old person plan, honestly, and I'm really looking forward to this, is I want to hire a lawn company to mow my lawn, and then every time they show up, walk outside and scream, "Get off my lawn." It is my ultimate goal. I can't wait for it. I'm going to seem like a crazy old man, and nobody will know otherwise, and I can't wait for the day.
Then I'll have to come out and tell him, no, he's senile. You can mow. Please mow, because he's not going to. Please do it. We've already paid you.
Oh, it's going to be the greatest ever. What do I care? Somebody will mow my lawn eventually.
Oh, boy.
Maybe they won't. What are they going to do to me? All right. Oh, I can't wait for the day.
Oh, man. So what else?
All right. So, is that the only advice you would give?
I mean, it's that. I also think that, I think one of the major things is setting an appropriate expectation of what your partner is capable of giving. And that changes throughout seasons of life. And when you recognize that your partner is not capable of giving what you feel like you need and deserve, having an open conversation with them about it and making sure that I'm gonna cry. Don't cry.
You-
I know, so silly. And just making sure that, and checking in and making sure that their expectations are being
Right.
met as well.
Open communication.
Right, and not having an expectation that is unrealistic, because I think a lot of times
Yeah.
we have this romanticized expectation of what it's
Well,
supposed
he
to
didn't
be
do this,
like.
or
Yeah.
she didn't do that, and
And it's like,
you
I
gotta
never
ask if that's fair.
Right, I
Yeah.
never asked you to do that. I expected you to do that, and never communicated
Right.
that I was expecting
Right.
it of you. So that's not fair for me to expect.
Right,
that.
because men and women speak on different wavelengths
Right.
a lot of times, and so what you are expecting of me, I may not be thinking as an issue, and
Right.
vice versa.
Right,
And, yeah.
so-
So open communication. I would say patience is
Yeah.
a big crucial factor, right? Like learning to take a step back, and if something's getting heated or whatever. Like for me, a lot of times it's, especially like if we're texting back and forth or whatever, or if we got in an argument and I go to work or whatever it is, that gives me time to kind of think and calm myself down and say, okay, well, it's kind of two-part of what you said, right? Like, one, okay, am I being fair right now? Like,
Right.
is a good question. But another good question is, and I ask this question to myself a lot: what does it really matter?
Right.
If it's not life, family, death type situations, financial, as far as are we gonna lose our house if we don't figure that, if it's not something that's detrimental to the family unit in and of itself and our relationship or a couple's relationship, is it really that big of a deal? Now, I don't think you should be a pushover every time something happens, because that everybody needs to stand up for themselves, and like you said, understanding each other's boundaries and communicating and everything else. I don't think it's healthy in a relationship to not have certain expectations and boundaries for each other.
Yeah. I'm just saying it sometimes has to adjust.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Where we were at 15 years ago versus where we're at today are two totally different things, and we've gone through a lot starting out to because we got married during right before the recession hit. Yeah. So you want to talk about trying times on a relationship? Go ahead and throw a housing collapse on the whole deal, an economical collapse. Get married and have a kid. Good luck. Yeah. It'll definitely test you and your sanity and your marriage and everything else for
and
sure.
We lived, the three of us, on a single income for a while.
$12 an hour,
yeah,
I think.
For a while.
Yeah.
So.
And that's actually a lesson for you guys out there. Don't have so much pride that you aren't dependent on your spouse as well for getting through times and everything else. I feel like today, I don't think that's as much of an issue anymore with the current financial state of everything, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. Here's we'll make this kind of the last question, because I think we're running up on time, but what's a good way to show love towards your kids?
Well, our kid's a little bit of an oddball. He likes a lot of alone time. He's a little bit like me in that sense. I like my time alone too.
But he's also goofy like I am, so he's set up for failure, honestly.
He's a good mix of both of us, though. But I think showing him love, he appreciates quality time, going and doing stuff. He likes to go to the movies with us and do stuff like that. But sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he's not in the mood for that. So I think giving him space to be himself is something I'm learning to do now as he's getting older, because he's 13.
Right.
And
privacy.
Right, privacy. And also, like, allowing him space to go hang out with friends and go do the things that are, that he wants to get involved with without me showing up and being a helicopter parent to him, because he's trying to find his independence. So I think that's the stage that we're at right now. And then obviously he's gonna love it if we show him love by giving him gifts and paying for things.
What kid doesn't like getting stuff?
Right. So
Yeah, I would say allowing for them to be able to express themselves. I'm on the. I think there needs to be clear set guidelines, and I think that I personally feel like if you're going to, if there's some form of punishment, grounding or whatever else, I do feel that you need to follow through on that kind of stuff. But as far as just spending time with your kid and everything, it's really just letting them have their own lane. So me and my son have a great way of just joking around with each other without actually even talking. And we have a blast doing it. And it's our own little fun time and stuff. And he's not into disc golf, but I don't push disc golf on him. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't have to play. But sometimes he goes out and hangs out with us just because he likes to do that. So letting your kids find their own lane, express themselves, all obviously within reason, is I would agree with all that as well. I think that's going to wrap up the Valentine's Day episode. So we're glad you all hung out with us today. Don't worry, Leroy's coming back on the show. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. I know everybody thought some stuff was setting on fire. It's not happening.
He owes me an apology.
He owes PJ an apology. And Leroy, when you watch this, you heard that. So start puckering up, buddy. All right. Like, share, subscribe, do all those wonderful things. Tell your friends about it. And leave a comment in there. Maybe leave a comment on what your ideal date is. There you go. Other than that, I think we're out. I'm Caleb. This is my wife, Morgan. Deuces! Are we recording this? All right.